Hello there, great person, and welcome to another episode of Let's Watch Some Science Videos. I'm a quantum physicist, at least in part, and I will watch a video today. Yeah, we finally made it. It's called the Kardashev scale, so it's the one I always forget the name about. I will just watch it now. And yeah, in between, I might pause it, give you my comments, and let's just see what this is. I'm quite interested in this. When I was very young, I looked it up. I think I don't know how I stumbled upon the Kardashev scale. But it was quite intriguing. It was this, I think it was the Wikipedia article back then, 15 years ago perhaps. And it was, they wrote down what those civilizations could do potentially. And it was so exciting. So let's just get into this, have some fun. If you like this, consider liking, subscribing, and ring the bell as always. And yeah, let's just go. Just go.
The observable universe is a big place that's been around for more than 13 billion years. Up to 2 trillion galaxies made up of something like 20,000 billion stars surround our home galaxy. In the Milky Way alone, scientists assume there are some 40 billion Earth-like planets in the habitable zone of their stars. When we look at these numbers, it's hard to imagine that there is nobody else out there. It would change our perception of ourselves forever if we found others. Just knowing that this vast place is not dead would shift our perspective outwards and could help us get over our irrelevant quarrels. But before looking for our new best friends or worst enemies, we have a problem to solve.
Those things, were those potatoes? I'm sorry, what? Why are they speaking potatoes?
What are we actually looking for?
In a nutshell.
In a universe that big and old, we have to assume that civilizations start millions of years apart from each other and develop in different directions and speeds.
Yeah.
So, not only are we looking over distances of dozens to hundreds of thousands of light years, we're looking for a civilization ranging from cavemen to super advanced.
Yeah.
So, we need a conceptual framework to enable us to think better thoughts that make us able to search better.
Perhaps a
Are
scale.
there universal rules that intelligent species follow? Currently, our civilization sample size is only 1, so we may make incorrect assumptions based solely on ourselves. Still, better than nothing. We know that humans started out with nothing but minds and hands that could build tools.
Yeah.
We know that humans are curious, competitive, greedy for resources, and expansionist. The more of these qualities our ancestors had, the more successful they were in the civilization building game. Being one with nature is nice, but
I like that he puts that it's a game because that's what it is. It's like when you create something, a civilization, whatever. It's a game of it's a game of different parties. Some win, some lose. Like the Mayans, are they called that? And the Aztecs, they won quite a lot, and then they lost, and now they're gone. It's like it's a bit. Perhaps even a bit morbid to say that, but the essential thing, yeah, it's true.
But it's not the path to irrigation systems or gunpowder or cities. So it's reasonable to assume that aliens able to take over their home planet also have these qualities. And if aliens have to follow the same laws of physics, then there is a measurable metric for progress: energy use. Human progress can be measured very precisely by how much energy we extracted from our environment and how we made it usable to do things. We started with muscles until we learned to control fire. Then we made machines that used kinetic energy from water and wind. As our machines got better and our knowledge of materials expanded, we began to harness the concentrated energy from dead plants we dug up from the ground.
Yeah.
As our energy consumption grew exponentially, so did the abilities of our civilization. Between 1800 and 2015, population size had increased 7-fold, while humanity was consuming 25 times more energy. It's likely that this process will continue into the far future. Based on these facts, scientist Nikolai Kardashev developed a method of categorizing civilizations from cave dwellers to gods ruling over galaxies.
Or the universe.
Scale, a method of ranking civilizations by their energy use. The scale has been refined and expanded on over the decades,
What
but
the
in
frig
general,
is
it
that?
puts civilizations into 4 different categories. A Type 1 civilization is able to use the available energy of their home planet. A Type 2 civilization is able to use the available energy of their star and
Yeah,
planetary system.
evil Overlord Cthulhu
A
thing.
Type 3 civilization is able to use the available energy of their galaxy. A Type 4 civilization is able to use the available energy of multiple galaxies.
Yeah.
These levels differ by orders of magnitude.
That's so
It's
weird.
like comparing an ant colony to a human metropolitan area. To ants, we are so complex and powerful, we might as well be gods. So to make the scale more useful, we need subcategories. On the lower end of the spectrum, there are Type 0 to Type 1 civilizations. Anything from hunter-gatherers to something we could achieve in the next few hundred years.
Yeah.
These might actually be abundant in the Milky Way. But a civilization that is not actively transmitting radio signals into space might be as close as our nearest stellar neighbor, the Alpha Centauri system, and we would have no way of realizing they exist.
Yeah. True.
But even if they transmitted radio signals like we do, it might not be very helpful. On an interstellar scale, humanity is practically invisible. Our signals may extend over an impressive 200 light-years, but this is only a tiny fraction of the Milky Way. And even if someone were listening, after a few light-years, our signals decay into noise, impossible to identify as the...
Yeah. That is so true. Like, of course. You know, 200 light years. That's what I said in the last video about when they had Beyond Part 3, you know? That you were the transmissions through light or whatever at sublight speed, you know, you live in this communication bubble. So we do as well. We have a bubble around us 200 light years about that where our signals have gotten. Not more. It's very small, very small.
Source of an intelligent species. Today, humanity ranks at about level 0.75. We have altered our planet. We've created huge structures, mined and stripped mountains, removed rainforests and drained swamps. We've created rivers and lakes and changed the composition and temperature of the atmosphere. If progress continues, and we don't make Earth uninhabitable, we will become a full Type 1 civilization in the next few hundred years.
The aquarium
Any
building
civilization
is
that
cute.
becomes a Type 1 is bound to look outside because
What is
it's likely
that?
it's still curious, competitive, greedy, and expansionist. The next reasonable step towards transitioning to Type 2 is trying to alter and mine other planets and bodies. This might start with outposts in space, transition to infrastructure and industries near the home planet, move on to colonies, and end with terraforming other planets by changing their atmosphere, their rotation, or position.
Yeah.
As a civilization expands and uses more and more stuff and space, its energy consumption scales with them. So at some point, they may embark on the largest project a lower Type 2 civilization can take on, harnessing the energy of their star by building a Dyson swarm. Once this megastructure is finished, energy has become practically unlimited for molding the home system however they see fit. If they are still curious, competitive, greedy, and expansionist, and now have complete control over their home system, stellar infrastructure in place, and the energy output of a star...
Why do you have to be greedy? I don't like that he paints it in this negative light. Why greedy? Yeah, you want more? I don't know if that's greed. It's progress. You know, but it's a fine line. I get his point. But it's a very negative outlook on the future, you know? It's like, yeah, you know what? When you stay like this, like we are now, then everything's gonna be fine. And you won't rob other planets of their resources or whatever. But yeah, we will die more then. You know? What goes along with these types of scenarios where you expand, it's like the mortality rates, they drop. So it's more safe for us as well. And I don't really like that they never mention that. It's only this, oh yeah, you're so greedy, you expand, you make everything yours. Yes, I see the negative point there, but it's also that you make your own species grow and prosper if you do it correctly, and you make it more safe against hazards, or like an asteroid or whatever, it gets more safe for your species by doing that. So I don't like the negativity about that. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get the negativity, but it's a view that many people seem to have, and with other things too nowadays. And I think that's not yeah, the best thing, because if you regress, it's like they say it here. In the beginning we had coal, and before that you had wood. Well, now you have wind and solar, and you have nuclear energy. And nuclear energy is actually quite clean. There are problems with every type of energy you use, but nuclear is pretty good. It's like in Germany, we currently have this uproar that nuclear energy has been declared by the European Union as safe or clean, one of those two. I don't really care. And everyone's no, it can't be, And everyone who says that does not have any idea what they are talking about. None. Because 30 years ago, of course, Fukushima was built. When was it built? In the 70s? I don't know. Nowadays, a power station, nuclear power station, nowadays when they build it, it's almost completely safe. And I don't even know about the half-life of the elements. I think they are below 100 years in part. I might be mistaken about that, but the more you research a technology, the better it gets, like nuclear. But yeah, I mean, I understand concerns with nuclear, but I think fusion will be quite good when they manage it. They had some breakthroughs. I think they developed a new magnetic material that's very, very magnetic, and they can build smaller reactors, so they can do a lot more research. And I know there's this meme, it's gonna be in 30 years, nuclear fusion, but I really think it will be in, I mean, perhaps in 10 years they have the first reactors they can really do research on, then they can replicate them because they're easier to build, and then it spreads. I think it's 20 years, and it's an estimate by someone who knows a bit about it, but who's also a layman. I wouldn't call myself an expert there, no way. But I read some stuff, I follow some research there. They are actually quite far already, and they are. But I know it's a meme. Don't get me wrong. I know it's a stupid meme. Anyway.
The next frontier moves to other stars light years away. For a Type 2 civilization, the distance to other stars might feel like the distance between Earth and Pluto does to us today. Technically within reach, but only with immense investments in terms of time, ingenuity, and resources. This begins their transition towards Type 3. This step is so far beyond us that it becomes hard to imagine what exactly these challenges will look like and how they'll be solved.
Oh no,
Will they be able to find a solution to the vast distances and travel times of hundreds or thousands of years? Will they be able to communicate and keep a shared culture and biology between colonies light years apart?
Yeah, will they?
Or will they split into separate Type 2 civilizations? Maybe even different species? Are there deadly challenges between the stars?
What is that thing?
So the closer a species
Jesus, what was that?
The harder it becomes to fathom what it might actually look like. They might.
Why I love these types of videos so much? You in part they go to some artists and they say, yeah, paint something strange and weird and advanced that we can understand, and they come up with this cool stuff like this. I love it.
Might discover new physics, may understand and control dark matter and energy, or be able to travel faster than light. We might be unable to grasp their motives, technology, and actions. Humans are the ants, trying to understand the galactic metropolitan
What is that? See, what is that thing?
A Type 2 civilization might already consider humanity too primitive to even talk to. A Type 3 civilization might feel about as like we feel about the bacteria living on the anthill.
Yes, but if it's like, yeah, okay, let's say there are ants on Mars and we find them. Don't you think that would be absolutely mind-shattering still? I don't know.
Maybe they wouldn't even consider us conscious or our survival relevant. We could only pray that they're nice gods. But the scale doesn't necessarily end here. Some scientists suggest there might be Type 4 and Type 5 civilizations whose influence stretches over galaxy clusters or superclusters, structures comprising thousands of galaxies and trillions of
Looks like
stars.
cheese. Your
Ultimately,
universe
there
model
might
looks
be a
like
Type
cheese.
Omega civilization, able to manipulate the entire universe and possibly others. Type Omega civilizations might be the actual creators of our universe for reasons beyond our comprehension. Maybe
Perhaps because they want to have fun. I don't know. It's a dark thought. But yeah, I mean, there are these theories that we live. I mean, it's pretty, you know, you can model the universe as a hologram. We know that by now. And might be, man, might be, I don't know. We might be a hologram, we might be someone's game. You know, there's this great game I once played, Star Ocean 3 Till the End of Time. They had this twist that the universe was just you know, an MMORPG for these 4D beings. Such a great twist. You know, it started like this science fiction thing, and they were, you know, traveling around planets, and it was all quite classic, and then suddenly this huge twist. It effed everything. It was so good. Loved that twist. One of my favorite twists I've ever experienced in the story. Loved it because it was done so well. I know some people didn't like it, but I absolutely loved how it was done. It was so great. And yeah, who knows? I mean, and there are even you know, psychologists who think that everything is just a dream, and yeah, and take that together. It's so interesting, so interesting. I love it. So who knows, man? But I don't think that it's that important. You know, it's like and he said it before here. Our menial problems, something like that. But they're not menial. If a problem is important to you, saying yeah, but on the big scale it doesn't matter. Well, okay, good, it doesn't, but perhaps, but yeah, you still it's the problem you have right now. You know, you can't escape it, even though it might be meaningless, but you can't escape the problem. You know, always try to deal with problems. So yeah, I don't know. At least that's what I try to do. But what do I know? I don't know.
maybe they were just bored. As flawed as this classification may be, this thought experiment is already telling us interesting things. If our ideas about the nature of species that form interstellar civilizations is sort of correct, then we can be pretty sure that there are no civilizations of Type 3 and beyond near the Milky Way. Their influence would in all likelihood be so all-encompassing and their technology so far above our own that we couldn't miss them. The galaxy should flash with their activity in thousands of star systems. We
Why?
should be able to see or detect their artifacts or movements between different parts of their empire.
No, why?
Even if a Type 3 civilization did exist
Why?
in the
What?
past and
I don't like this argument. I get it, but you know, it's like, yeah, okay, but what if they just, you know, use hypergates that are like 400 kilometers big, perhaps, let's say 4 kilometers in diameter. Hypergates with a diameter of 4 kilometers. Why would you detect them? You can't detect them. Can't even really detect moons on planets and other systems really well. You know, it's like, why would you think you could detect them? And if they don't communicate by wavelengths, like, I mean, they're a civilization that lives between the stars, so why would they use sublight communication? It's stupid as well. So I don't like this argument. I think this is a very flawed argument. But I mean, again, I get it. I get that argument, but for me, it's flawed.
died a mysterious death, we should be able to detect some of the remnants of their empire. But when scientists looked, they didn't find remnants of harvested stars, decaying megastructures, or scars of great interstellar wars.
Yeah,
So they're very likely.
What? No, we didn't look for that. I mean, yeah, perhaps we did in part, but you know, you look for like a star, okay? If it goes supernova, how do you know it was artificial? I don't know. It's like what? This makes no sense to me currently. You can explain it to me in the comments, perhaps. If this makes sense to you, to me this does not make sense. Is
Not
the
out
argument
there
no?
and never were. In a sense, this is very sad, but also very reassuring. It leaves the galaxy to us and others similar to us. So the most promising civilizations to look for may be somewhere in the spectrum from type 1.5 to type 2.5. They wouldn't be too advanced to understand them and their motives. They may have finished their first megastructures,
Is that a
they might be in the
mushroom?
process
Why?
of moving stuff between stars and transmitting enormous amounts of information into space by accident or on purpose. They would probably also look to the stars and look for others. Then again, maybe we've got it all wrong. Maybe progress to type 2 does not mean expanding outwards, and humanity is still too immature to imagine otherwise.
Yeah, that's
For
probably
now,
the
all we
thing.
really know is that
What are these stupid worms they keep bringing in? What are they? I mean, look at them. What is that there? What the frick?
we haven't seen anybody yet.
Jesus Christ, was
We've only just started looking. Until we finally find friendly super aliens and can ask them to explain the rules of the universe to us, most of us have to make do with learning stuff ourselves.
yeah, okay, that was it. So shoutouts to them. I like this video. I thought to me there were some things I thought were to me controversial, you know, in the sense that those were not statements that are true, that were, and they didn't present them as such. But for me, you know, if you look at this, you have to keep in mind this is stuff it's creativity they have, and it's ideas they spit out, you know, for us to discuss, which I love. So I have some arguments against some of the things they did here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, get them out there. Get those arguments out there, you know, talk about it. I like talking about that. And perhaps everyone's wrong here. Everyone is right here. Perhaps I don't know. We don't know. We don't have a clue, and that's why I love these videos, these kinds of videos. And again, this Kardashev scale. I thought it was Kardashev, but whatever. It's a great concept, and yeah, I'm glad we watched this because I got some new stuff to think about. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I'm glad. If you didn't, please, criticism is always welcome. And just put it in the comments. It's no problem. I'm actually quite glad about criticism as well. Like in the last videos, someone and rightfully said that it was a bit stupid that I put away the sound from Life Beyond. But yeah, I didn't want to be disrespectful there because they put a lot of work into it, and I just didn't just want to play it all. And I just wanted people to watch it on their own. And then if you come to my video, you know what they're talking about. I think at least I would. So whatever. But yeah, I hope you have a great day, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.